Yari Moat, Fire and Forget. In this story, on this page, an attack is made on an Afghan-held hill, and generically this is military realism. It's a war story. The first paragraph, there are excellent first 4 lines. They're dramatic, immediate, there's real present tense action, and there's an engaging active mood verb, leaves, and then strong reinforcing verbs, cram, tip, tumble. Then you follow these with show not tell adjectives. You have the buckaroo tramway, it's not it was a bumpy road. The sweatbox vehicle, not it was hot. On the 5th line, there's the first false note. There's the stuttering repetition of up. And it's on small margins like these that a first reading can depend. So this is the first paragraph. Don't give the reader any reason to doubt your skills. So on line 6, you'll see here there's a nagging repetition of a single linguistic formula. Adjective, adjective, noun. There's lush green zone, mud brick compound, low, possibly man-made hill. Now I can see why you missed this, partly because you might think the green zone acts as a single noun, but in the reading experience, green will always read as an adjective. And the final link in this chain then creates a sense of accumulation. Not 2 adjectives, not 3, but 4. That's 8 adjectives in the same sentence, which comprises a huge amount of information for a reader to take in at once, especially at the beginning of a book. So this sense of accumulation, of a rush of ideas that is not always under control, becomes characteristic of the text that follows. On paragraph 3, for example, you give 3 options for the translation of Habibi. 2 lines later, only one of those translations will be adopted, darling, so the other 2 become superfluous. In the 3rd paragraph, on line 4, there's also the first instance of the narrator consciously editorializing the text. That's in the single word, incredibly. So the engaging matter-of-factness of the first paragraph is replaced with a judgment. That intervention stands out, and in that sense it has to make a significant contribution. In the 5th paragraph, instead, that is the first instance of a narrative self-consciousness that cuts in explicitly in the first line of the 5th paragraph with this question in the text. The narrator addresses the reader directly. Instantly, this takes the narrator out of the immediacy of the action, and this may create more problems than it solves. Finally, the list of weapons itself is an excellent conception, but by standing outside the dramatized scene, the narrator generalizes the list. That's a missed opportunity to zoom into the specific characters of this story. Characters will presumably appear. In fact, Jonesy is injured later in this section, but Jonesy appears from nowhere. This list of weapons would be more effective if the weapons were linked to people. What is Jonesy carrying? What is the narrator carrying? Who has the mortar? You miss an early opportunity to people the story, to avoid generalizations and reassure the reader that you're telling this story and no other, and that this story, because it's not generalized, is therefore worth the telling.